Hi, welcome to a SippyBee short. My name is Richard. I'm your guide here at SippyBee, the comprehensive wine app where we help you find, choose, purchase, taste, and learn about wine all in one spot. Today we're going to be talking about opening bottles of wine. So I have a couple selections of bottles here to be opened. Sometimes they're not much of a problem. Sometimes you just pick up the bottle and twist. Pretty easy, pretty easy. And a lot of people poo-poo screw tops, but really, what could be easier? And they are almost perfect seal. Nothing ever goes wrong with them, not a challenge, right? But many wines, of course, still come with corks. So what do you do when you have to face the cork? Well, first you need to prep yourself. You should have a wine opener and a side towel handy. You might want a foil cutter too. This is specifically made to cut the foil off the top. But any good sturdy wine opener like these two Vayda's corkscrews are great for opening bottles. They're very flexible. They can open bottles with large corks or small corks. They typically have a nice knife on them. And I did another SippyBee short all about wine openers that you can view. So I'm going to be using a classic Vayda's corkscrew, one that is very commonly available right now. The leg has a little joint on it that goes back and forth, right? And it has two levels, the knee here and then the ankle here that we're going to use to pry the cork out of the bottle. Now, the first thing we have to do is face the capsule here. And there are a couple things we can do to cut the capsule off. We could use this special capsule cutter, but it's just an extra thing to carry around with you. And, you know, there's always something new that people want to sell you. But this simply goes around the top of the bottle here and cuts the capsule off. I always like to use the Vayda corkscrew because it's so handy. It has everything built in. It has a little knife in it here that we can use to get this capsule off. Now, I always recommend cutting the capsule under the second rim here because that gives you something to pull up against and it'll make a nice clean cut and it won't leave any metal or plastic to drag on the wine here when you're pouring it. So our objective is to make a nice clean cut around here. I'm not a big fan of the, the server trying to balance the bottle in the air and shake the bottle. I like to treat every bottle with respect, even if it's an expensive bottle. Certainly, though, shaking the bottle is not really great for an old bottle of red wine. So I'm going to take the knife and go up against the second rim here underneath and go around the cork using the flat of the knife to cut the capsule. And I'm not spinning the bottle either because that's not too nice for the bottle also, but just treating it, as I said, with some respect, going around. And then I'm going to use the flat of the knife to pull the capsule off. And the objective is to make a nice clean cut, just like that, so it looks really nice at the table. If it starts to rip and tear, you can always pull the whole capsule off. No big deal, no big deal. Then put the knife away so you don't get any abdominal injuries, and then pull out the screw. So here we have a nice hollow screw that's going to grab onto the cork, and we want to go down into the center of the cork and just start turning, giving a light push in. And you don't have to go all the way, especially if you know it's going to be a short cork. But if you know it's going to be a long cork, then just keep screwing. Just keep going in. Right? You can always, though, screw more on the spiral later. Now I'm going to push down on the handle and engage the leg, first at the knee here. And I'm going to hold the corkscrew leg against the bottle at the knee, and I'm going to start to pull up, but I'm really pushing through at the same time. I'm using the lever here, so I'm not dragging the cork over to the side, but rather pushing through and pulling up at the same time. And then once I get to the top of where I can go with the knee, then I push back down on the handle, and I engage the whole leg at the ankles here, and start to do the same thing. And notice that it bulges out a little bit at the knee here. You just want to let it go and do that. But hold it firmly against the side of the bottle so the leg doesn't flick off and potentially break some glass off. And again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm pulling up and pushing through the lever here at the same time. And if you get to the top and there's still more cork there, you can always screw in a little bit more, right? And then finish off the cork. So now we have it off. We can clean the top of the bottle now. That's what the side towel is for. Sometimes there's some residue there. And then we're good to go. So there you go. We have the bottle open. Next, in our SippyBee wine shorts, we're going to do a little talk about pouring the wine. So I hope to see you then. or maybe in one of our guided wine tours with one of our SippyBee sets. See you soon.